Greetings, family. Greetings, family. I had to come to you one more time. I had a message that was really on my heart. And today I want to talk to my people about unity. Unity. If you don't know, my name is John Fisher, a.k.a. John Stone. My background is very, very diverse. I'm a mental health professional, practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming, timeline, and hypnotherapy, master practitioner at that. I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur. My background is, growing up, I was just like most young men in our country. I was troubled. I was I was affiliated with an organization that people know as Gangster Disciples. Today, I'm God's disciple. But that was my history, and I can recall one thing I honored about GDs is that the literature, we had a body of literature that allowed us to all stay on one accord. If you knew the literature, you knew what was going on. If you were in the know. If you didn't, you were out of the know. Now, like I said, this is about unity. So I'm not trying to glorify Gangster Disciple. And I really come to speak about all the groups that we've been involved in our life. As I was being a gangster, some people were being vice lords, some people were being Crips, some people were being Bloods, some people were being El Rookins, Four Corner Hustlers, Pyrus, Six Deuces, even religiously. We were in Christians, Muslim, Al-Islam, Nation of Islam, Hebrew Israelite, Pentecostal, everything we've been. And what I'm noticing is that us being fractured like that into so many different divisions never allowed us to unify. I'm from St. Louis. And I would usually, once I start to make my transition, I spend a lot of time taking groups of people down to Jefferson City, which is our state's capital, the state capital of Missouri. And one thing I will always point out to them when we take these trips is when you walk inside our state capital, there's some words, the biggest words throughout the whole building. When you walk in and you look up, they have a big some words lining the top of the inside of the building. And those words say, united, in big bold letters, united we stand, divided we fall. Now, I don't know how you take that understanding. United we stand, divided we fall. But that phrase has some very serious implications. What they were translating to themselves and to their organizations, their group was, so long as we stand together, we will continue to control and rule this land that we have colonized and conquered. Long as we hold this facade, this charade up, and long as we stick together and don't turn on one another and don't get divided, we will continue to control this country, this land that was not theirs. Then that leads me back to us. If they know that united they will continue to rule, and divided their empire will fall. And I just spoke to you about all these different factions that we are a part of. Crips, Bloods, GDs, Vice Lords, Christian, Muslim, Al-Islam. Does that sound like division to you? As powerful as the Nation of Islam is, a Nation of Islam will no power in this country alone. And I respect Farrakhan, and I respect the movement that they have created. But it has no power on its own. I respect the Moorish Science Temple of America. But the more as powerful and as knowledgeable those brothers are, they have no power alone, on their own. They stand no chance against the people that has conquered this land and control this land today. They're going to pay taxes. They're going to stay in, they're going to fall in line, or they're going to get down or lay down when it comes to these people that has taken over this country. Same way with the Hebrew Israelites. They're a powerful group of brothers, very knowledgeable about the word. But with all this knowledge, this body of understanding and knowledge that we all have in our individual factions, somehow we haven't understood, with all the wise brothers that has come before us, somehow we just haven't understood that a unified front may actually free us from the oppressive domination we've been under all these years. If the Muslims can come to the table with the Moors, and the Hebrew Israelites can take a seat at the same table, and Christians can take a seat at the same table, and I'm talking about all the people that look like us, if we can all sit at the same table together and determine our future, that's unity. With unity comes power. We would never in this country reach any degree of power or have any kujichagulia, self-determination, so long as we are divided as a people. Different groups fighting different groups. Crips fighting Bloods, Bloods fighting Six Deuces. It's just, we are at war with everybody but those who have pit us as their enemy. Our enemy act as they've been acting, just like that. Somehow we want to march and beg for equality. But I have to ask you, if you shedded blood to take something, and you're shedding blood to maintain control of what you've taken, would you put somebody who you've taken something from on an even footing with you? If you shed blood to take something from somebody and you steady shedding blood to maintain it, would it be wise to turn around and give the same people you've taken from equal standing? If you're a logical brother, I'm sure you'd come to the conclusion that that's asinine. It makes no sense. So when we do all these marching and we're trying to do everything fair and by the book was only created, meaning they took a certain route to power. Their route to power involved murder, theft, deception, and control. That's their route to power. Then they turned around and made laws against that, so you can't take the same routes. They closed the door after they took it. As a matter of fact, for everything they tell us not to do, thou shalt not kill. If that was the case, we wouldn't have a military. We wouldn't have an armed police force and all that. If that was the case, thou shalt not kill. So for the wise of us, that means we have to look at what someone else is doing to maintain, what someone did to gain control, and what they are doing to maintain it. And in order to compete in this world we living in, that ain't fair, we may have to take the same routes. In order to do that, we got to unify. United we stand. Divided, we will continue to be subservient to a greater power than us. So please, brothers, don't talk gangsterism no more. I don't want to hear none of that on this line, because if you're not gangstering the gangsters, the real gangsters, and we all know who they are. We know. You're bullshitting. You're a bullshitter. And be real with yourself. Okay?